Okay, today is July 2nd, 2026. This is our CBAP study group, and people are rolling in. There's Katya.
How are you?
Hello. We are doing 5,
Hi.
6, 7, and 8 tonight, right?
6, 7, and
Yes.
6, 7, and 8, not 5?
did we include 5? I don't recall 5. I thought 6, 7, and 8.
Okay, we'll do 6, 7, and 8.
Maybe I'm mistaken.
Did we do 6, 7, and 8 already, or is this the first time?
The first time.
Okay, then let's do 6, 7, and 8. Hello, Jesse, how are you?
Hi. Yeah, I'm fine. Good morning. It's my
Good
face now.
morning. Good morning to you. Okay, let me share my screen. I've already started the recording. So today we are going to add chapter 6 to our group. So we're doing solution evaluation. We're doing requirements analysis and design definition, which we call RAD. And we're adding back in strategy analysis. So I'm going to remind you what strategy analysis is about. Strategy analysis knowledge area describes the business analysis work that must be performed to collaborate with stakeholders to identify a need of strategic or tactical importance, which is the business need, enable the enterprise to address that need, and align the resulting strategy for change with higher and lower level strategies. And in strategy analysis, this is the only knowledge area that has only 4 tasks. It has analyze current state, define future state, assess risk, and define change strategy. Several of these have a whole list of things like risk tolerance has these 3 different types of risk tolerance. Business needs have different kinds of business needs. So remember that we have those in our mix today. And we will get started with questions. Okay, so 6, 7, and 8, we're going to begin a new exam. You can see my screen, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. First question. An organization has delayed replacing the operating system for employees' computer for years due to the costs associated with the change. Microsoft stopped supporting the operating system, and employees' productivity has suffered as repairs are delayed if they happen at all. A BA recommends that the operating system be retired and replaced with the latest and the greatest. Which of the following financial factors carries the most weight with this recommendation? So if the BA is recommending a solution, what chapter and what task are we in?
Chapter 8, we are solution recommendation, the last one.
Recommend actions to increase solution value. So the solution is in place and they've made the recommendation. Welcome, Tosin. Glad to see you. Okay, so which of the following financial factors carries the most weight in recommend actions to increase solution value? Is it sunk cost, opportunity cost, ongoing cost versus initial investment, or necessity? Let's eliminate one of these.
Necessity.
Why are we eliminating necessity?
Let me recall which one, because isn't it this one is sunk cost and necessity?
I think I eliminate the sunk cost because it's already
Yeah, I agree to
pretty.
eliminating some costs too.
Okay, we're going to eliminate sunk cost. So what is
Yep.
the best answer?
It's not opportunity cost.
Should be this.
Retired and replaced with the latest and greatest.
I think it's D, is it? The answer.
You like B as boy?
D, dog. Sorry, D is dog.
B is dog. Thank you. Hi, Amanda. Welcome.
Hi. I'm just looking at the question. Stopped,
Give
suffered,
you a minute.
retired, and
Here,
replaced with the latest and
Jennifer.
greatest. I'm gonna Ooh, I'm going to say B for opportunity cost.
Okay, why do you like opportunity cost most?
Because they're sacrificing opportunity as productivity declines.
Okay. And so the
And
opposite of that would be opportunity cost?
which of the following carried the most weight in the recommendations? Costs associated with the change. Yes, I think carried the most weight in the recommendations because I don't know how to articulate it. I just feel like
I got some feedback because the BA got recommend the operating system be retired. So it's talking about to retire the existing environment. So it's kind of like lifespan, right? So I thought necessity is a need for them to consider.
Okay. So
I don't
I've
know.
got one vote for B and one vote for D. How many votes do I have for B? Raise your hands.
I think it's opportunity cost too.
Yeah, because
Okay.
their every day their productivity is declining and
Yeah.
their opportunity to transition now to a more viable system is costing them. And if they delay it any further, the price might be more expensive in the future.
Okay.
It's just
And
a gut feel.
how many
Gut
votes do I
feel.
have for D? One. Katya, where are you falling in this?
I'm checking ongoing cost versus initial investment, which one it is. Like I'm trying to understand this one, but it's not sunk cost. For me,
No.
it's not necessity.
Okay.
So yeah, I
It's
don't
either
see
B.
it necessity.
I think either B or I think C is probably a viable option as well because the
I don't
ongoing
know,
cost of
but we don't.
working with the old system. I don't know. My gut says B, but C could be correct as
Okay.
well.
Yeah,
I'm
I've got
curious
both
to
of
know.
those for
yeah,
B.
let's
Let's
check
test
B.
C. And Jesse
Oh
was right.
no!
So the
We were
answer is
all
necessity.
wrong.
The solution component is obsolete and next to impossible to maintain, so they have
Oh,
necessity to get the updated. Opportunity cost is not correct because it represents potential value that could be realized by pursuing a different course of action. They're not talking about different course of action. They're talking about just one.
well
Got it.
done,
Good
Jesse.
job.
Jesse, you did it. Look at you out of the gate. Okay. Miriam is a BA who is working to improve the ability of the help desk to resolve more end user issues on the first call. She has documented year-to-date first call resolution rates and is working on identifying the root cause for calls needing escalation to other support groups. During her analysis, she receives first call resolution results for the last 2 reporting periods that show marked improvement from her baseline year-to-date results. What is most likely happening? So what she's doing in this, the task that she's doing, she's defining current state, right? She's doing an analysis of what's really happening right now. So what's most likely happening that's giving the marked improvement from her baseline year-to-date results. The help desk obtained new resources that were more knowledgeable and therefore could resolve calls initially. There was software updates and the help desk was flooded with calls that were easy to resolve. There are more likely internal and external influencers at play that are altering the current state. The original year-to-date results are most likely flawed. Now the BABOK gives us, if you get a situation like this, the most likely cause is X. That's what it's asking you. Did you read the BABOK? So is there one we can eliminate?
B.
D.
B
Yeah.
and D. Okay. So what is the best answer according to the BABOK?
I'll say C.
C.
It sounds more baboky.
Yeah, internal, external.
You are correct. The current state of an enterprise is rarely static while change is being developed and implemented. As such, the current state can never be baselined. So it's always talking about internal and external influencers that impact the current state.
Yeah.
Very good. And next question on the same scenario. What is Miriam's next best step before continuing with root cause analysis? So before she continues with root cause analysis, modify root cause analysis activities to the categories of calls that were not resolved on the first call during the last 2 months. Research what, if anything, in the environment changed to cause the change for marked improvement. Report to the sponsor that the problem is improving on its own and pursuing the initiative isn't cost effective at this point. Double check the year-to-date results to ensure data precision and integrity. Let's eliminate one.
C.
Agree.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and which one should we choose?
I
B.
would say B.
Yep.
Research. Yeah, B.
You're
Yeah.
correct. Before determining how to continue, Miriam has to discern what, if anything, changed in the environment, and if whatever changed will significantly modify the current state definition and/or analysis activities. You know, we totally replaced that system that, oh, you were going to work on, but we replaced it, so, maybe you should know that. You have been asked to facilitate a workshop to help clarify the scope of a solution. Scope of a solution. We're in chapter 8, right? Your objective is to complete document analysis based on the project scope, complete business architecture.
Why chapter 8?
Maybe not.
To help clarify the scope of a solution is chapter 8.
Oh, you know what? I was assuming the solution
Isn't it
was in
chapter
place.
6?
Scope of the solution doesn't have to be chapter 8 because it could be a solution that's to be put in place. Thank you for the clarification. I love you, Katya. Okay, complete document analysis based on the project scope. Complete a business architecture for the proposed scope of a solution. Complete a sequence diagram for all interactions within the scope of the project, or organize requirements based on the solution components they are related to. So which one of these can we eliminate because they would not be part of the workshop objective?
Document analysis.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
Okay, we can eliminate that one.
Yeah.
So what is the best answer according to the BABOK?
I'm going to
I would say D.
D. More
maybe?
information.
D. Yeah.
Got agreement on D?
One second. Complete business architecture for the proposed scope of the solution. Complete.
But Hona,
Complete.
why cannot be C? But you want to clarify, right? Or
The
scope of
scope
solution.
of the solution.
Yeah, could be.
It could be
Why can't be
C.
C? Yeah, because
be.
you have a diagram.
It could be.
Let's check
Yeah.
C.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's
Okay.
D. Why it's not
Yeah.
C?
So sequence
Specify
diagram
model.
are used to specify and model requirements, but a scope model are used to describe the scope of the analysis or the scope of the solution. So organizing requirements based on the solution components they're related to, which is part of scope modeling.
Because sequence diagram is interactions. And here you don't have interactions between user or components. That's why you use sequence diagram.
Okay.
It's like use cases.
So we are in specify and model requirements.
Yeah.
And it's the techniques. This is the techniques section. Can somebody check in your BABOK and tell me what technique 41 is?
I'm checking.
I think it's probably scope modeling, but it's been a long time since I wrote that chapter.
Yeah, scope modeling.
Okay, perfect.
Define the nature
Can,
of one of limits.
can
What?
you please,
scope modeling.
Yes, Katia?
can you please check B? Let's see the business architecture. Yeah. Fabricated. Okay. Just I wanted to know with the business architecture. Okay.
That's okay. Harold has documented how factors external to the solution are restricting value realization. What task is he performing? Is this measure solution performance, assess solution limitations, analyzing performance measures, or assessing enterprise limitations? I'm going to let you go and tell me which one is the right answer.
I think we've had this one
Analyze performance measure.
before. I think it's actually
Analyze,
C.
document.
no. I think it's assess enterprise limitations because the key word in the
It's external.
external.
External. So
solution.
yeah.
It's outside of the solution,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's enterprise.
So it's about the company itself, the resources, the people
Yeah.
that have running it,
Mhm. It could be
culture.
the power supply,
Yeah.
but it's not inside the
It's not
solution.
inside. Yeah.
I appreciate y'all speaking up. Which of the following best describes some of the characteristics of requirements and design quality? This is not smart. This is not the smart one. This is the other one that are characteristics of requirements and design quality.
Mhm.
So let's see. 3 of them have atomic and this one doesn't. Do we need atomic?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yes.
we
Yes.
need.
So we're going to eliminate that one. Concise, feasible, unambiguous. Here's our only
Yes, we
option.
need it.
Estimated, approved, or prioritized.
I think it's prioritized. I'm not sure.
Not approved, not estimated.
Paradise C.
Yeah, I think it's prioritized too.
You're correct.
Yeah, I think it's
Atomic,
prioritized.
concise, feasible, unambiguous, and prioritized. That's way we know that we've got requirements and design quality.
Yeah.
Let me stop for a second. Have y'all ever asked somebody to prioritize something and they couldn't? They would say, oh, they're all equally important.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you haven't encountered that, you will encounter it because they're going to say, oh, no, these are equally important. Well, there's got to be a way to say one of them is more important than the other one. If you could only do one, which one would it be? I once was in a room of 15 vice presidents and they wanted me to say all the requirements were equally important. And I literally had to say to them, if they're all equally important, they're all equally unimportant. So you have to say if you could only do 5 of them, which 5 would they be and why? And they would, let them have that discussion. Prioritization is a hard thing for people. There's also a truth that we have trouble prioritizing based on numbers. For some reason, the human brain doesn't like numbers for prioritization. So whenever we're talking about sizes and we're using Fibonacci sequence, those numbers kind of get in our way. That's why t-shirt sizes work. I've had teams that they used dog breeds for sizing. I had a team that they were all foodies and they loved to cook. And so they had this recipe is like the easiest one was making bread. And then souffles were next. And then, they measured everything, but they had a language that they understood. And for some reason, humanly, when we estimate things, estimating against a thing is more accurate than estimating against a number or a time or something like that. Okay, let's move on. I'm sorry, did somebody want to say something? Okay. An organization purchased a new project management system 3 years ago. While the system has several bells and whistles, the organization has been using it primarily as a project repository and a time tracking system. The CIO golfs with another project management vendor and has learned of a new system that sounds awesome. David has been assigned as the BA to assess the new solution based on stakeholder needs. What might be his recommendation? So he needs to assess a new solution against an existing solution. What task are we in, guys?
Solution evaluation.
Yeah.
Solution evaluation. And which task is it?
The assess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, assess solution limit.
Asset solution
Yeah.
limitation.
Does our solution have limitations?
I don't know yet.
The solutions being used as a project repository and a time tracking
Oh.
system. I don't hear any
This-
limitations there.
It's
Yeah,
Not a
it-
limitation.
Okay.
Analyze, don't you?
Maybe it's recommend actions to increase solution value,
Yes.
or maybe
It's the
8.5.
last
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
I agree. It's the recommend one.
or analyze potential value and recommend solution. I don't know. This is kind of iffy because it could be in like 3 different knowledge areas, right?
Yeah.
Let's go through the answers. What might be his recommendation? To utilize the additional functionality of the current system, thereby fully utilizing the in-place system and eliminating the need for further investment. To review and compare the 2 systems to objectively make decisions regarding replacement based upon stakeholders' perception of value of the various features and functions of each system. To address the organizational change aspects of the proposed change proactively, as getting people to use the current system took over a year. To retire the current system solution and purchase a new. Which one should we eliminate?
D.
The
I don't think we should do that.
yeah.
And which
And
one do you
E.
think is the best answer?
B as in
E.
boy.
The
Boy. Yeah.
I like the word objectively there.
Mhm.
Given the CIO wants you to assess the new solution, as a BA, you should find out what the features and functions are in the new system, and then determine if the existing system provides similar features and functions. You'll also want to find out which features and functions the stakeholders value, then make a recommendation as to the best solution to meet their needs. Just as an aside, many times the applications used in human resources, for some reason, they only use pieces of that tool. And it's got so much more potential. I don't know why. I've seen it in 6 different companies. In which of the following situations are scope models particularly helpful? Remember the purpose of a scope model. When boundaries of some sort need to be defined. When asked for a graphical representation of the work breakdown structure. When describing the entities, classes, or data objects that are relevant to a domain. When the logic of usage sequences needs to be modeled. Welcome, Candace. Okay, what can we eliminate for scope models?
D.
And C.
Which one?
And limit C
D.
and D.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have A and B as left as options.
A.
A.
Yeah.
B.
Yep.
Okay,
Boundary.
you're right. Boundaries. Scope shows boundaries.
Boundaries.
Very good. Guys understand? Okay, 3 of these are true. 1 is not true about a class in a data model. If it's a class in a data model, what's the model name going to be called? What kind of model is it?
Sorry, what was the question?
If you got classes in a data model, there's only one data model that has classes. What kind of data model is that?
No idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ERD, is it?
Yeah.
Is it a class diagram?
Uh-oh.
Okay. Okay, let's go for that one. A class defines an entity's allowable values. A class contains operations that describe what can be done in that class. A class
That's
has
true.
relationships with other classes, or a class contains attributes. Remember, in a class diagram, it's got these little boxes, and some of them have a line in it that have operations below.
Yep.
And then above the line, it's got the name of the class, it's got the primary key. It may have foreign keys, it may have some other details in it. And then that box is going to be attached to other boxes, and that shows the relationships between the 2 different classes. And it can be 2 boxes in a class diagram or thousands. Don't do thousands. That's miserable. Okay, so let's start at the bottom. Does it contain attributes?
Yes.
Yes.
It
Okay,
does.
does
I
it
think
show
yes.
relationships?
Yes.
Yeah, it
Yes.
does.
Does it contain operations that describe what can be done with that class? Okay,
Yes.
so
Yes.
does it show,
Yes.
define the entity's allowable values? That is not what a class diagram does. That's an attribute, but that's not in a class diagram. A business analyst is writing a business case and is quantified, which means numbers, the financial benefits of alternative solutions as a means of assessing which solution will be presented as an overall recommendation. A stakeholder has suggested the business analyst to include the value assessment of a critical qualitative benefit as well. First of all, which task is it we do business cases? Where do we write business cases at? Isn't it analyze potential value and recommend solution?
Yeah, it's last 8 points. The last one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So which of the following best represents an example of a qualitative benefit? Qualitative means quality, not quantitative, which means numbers. The total cost of ownership, improved
Accountable.
return on investment,
Mm.
improved customer satisfaction, or shorter payback period. So let's start at the bottom. Is this numbers or quality?
Numbers.
Numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this numbers or quality?
Quality.
Quality.
Okay. How about this one? Numbers or quality?
Numbers.
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 And numbers or quality?
Numbers.
Numbers.
So this is the only one that's really about quality, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is a qualitative measure that can add significant value to the organization, but it is difficult to quantify. It is truly difficult to quantify.
It's chapter 6 even. 1 second. What is chapter 6.2?
You're right. It is chapter
It's
6.
chapter
Define
6.
future state.
6.2.4.
Okay.
In define future states.
Define future state and business cases are a tool in that one. Love learning. How are any financial analysis and value assessments validated? By relating them back to the strategic goals and objectives, by relating them back to the business requirements, by obtaining sponsor approval of the stated value assumptions, or by relating them back to the business need. What can we eliminate?
D.
As in what?
Charlie.
Charlie, thank you. So we eliminate Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is the best answer?
I think
B.
No, maybe it's
Boy.
B or D.
Yeah, B for
Or-
Bob.
B for Bob. Let's go for B for
No,
Bob.
no, it's D.
No, it's
Oh,
actually A.
hey. Oh,
Okay.
amazing.
So by relating them back to the strategic goals and objectives, financial
Yes.
analysis and value assessments must align to the strategic goals and objectives of the enterprise.
Can we see why it's not D? I just wanted
Yes.
to.
Business needs are an input into analyze current state and typically serve as a launching point of BA work.
Hmm.
Business needs are not part of this task. Okay. The lead business analyst has engaged you to outline the design possibilities that would satisfy a set of requirements in a project. Which set of activities is the business lead involved in? Lead business analyst involved in. So to outline the design possibilities that would satisfy the set of requirements in a project, what task is that, guys?
Oh, G analysis.
Possibilities.
Strategy
I
analysis.
thought it would be to define design options.
Design
Yeah,
options.
Yeah,
design options.
really.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But isn't that
Okay.
7? Didn't we do that already?
that's
Isn't
not
that chapter 7?
we have
Yes,
to
we
do
have-
6,
Chapter
7,
6,
8.
7, and
It's
8
not
in this.
six.
In
Yeah.
this
Oh,
set.
right. So it is. So it could be 7.
Yeah, 6,
Oh
7, and 8.
God.
It could be.
Yeah.
Which set of activities? Okay, so then we just need the inputs into define design options.
Okay.
I think the correct
I
answer is,
don't think it's the inputs.
oh, isn't it?
I think it's the elements.
Elements,
elements.
exactly.
Oh,
What are the elements that you have to accomplish to get that task accomplished?
I think it's C.
You like C as the
oh,
answer?
Yeah.
I thought it
Defining
was,
solution approaches, identifying improvement opportunities, requirements allocation, and describe design options.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Design of possibilities that would satisfy a set of requirements.
C.
I was going to say B for Bob, but maybe.
You like Bob better?
Well, no, I'm keen to see what the answer is.
Let's
Claudia's
find
really
out.
right. Well,
These
there
are
we go.
the elements in
Elements in
define
the
design
design
options, which is what the business analyst is engaged in. So just to remind you, I don't know if I've said this in front of Jesse before, so I'm going to say it just in case. The inputs are what you have to have before you can start the task. The
Yep.
elements are what you do to accomplish the task.
Oh,
The
that's why I
guidelines
got
and
it
tools are things you use
wrong.
to accomplish the task.
Right.
You can select one or more of the techniques to accomplish the task. The stakeholders need to be involved. Typically, all the stakeholders listed. Sometimes the stakeholder has very specific responsibility within that task.
Mm-hmm.
And then the output is what you get whenever the task is accomplished.
So would B be the inputs as opposed to the elements?
This is the elements of defined design options.
But then the items that are in option B, would that be inputs?
B?
Would that be inputs into that process? I can't remember. I
Except
don't have
they're
it
not.
open. I probably should.
Analyzing current state is not. Defined future state is not. Those are not inputs into this one.
No. Yeah.
But I can understand why you thought that, because they look
Yeah,
like they
yeah,
could
yeah.
be, right?
Yeah, it's just a guess. I'm totally guessing at this point.
Oh, it's okay. At this point in your study of this, you have come so far. Your brain is tired. I understand that. We just have to get you over the hump, and then you can go take your test and be done with this, okay? You're a business analyst working on a project with complex business function. What approach would you use to help identify constituent parts of the complex business function? Constituent parts, that's a really hard way to say it. It means pieces.
I know this one.
Functional decomposition, process modeling, work breakdown structure, problem decomposition. It wants to know the approach. Can we eliminate one?
Yep.
C.
Don't.
You can eliminate C because that's relating to projects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the best answer?
A.
A.
Yeah. Functional.
Functional decomposition helps you break down pieces, and break down a whole into its pieces. Rebecca is structuring the requirements to ensure all requirements from a single whole that supports the overall business objectives and produces meaningful outcomes to the stakeholders. Which of the following would not be a consideration for Rebecca? What task is she trying to accomplish, guys?
Requirements architecture.
Requirements allocation would not be a consideration. Okay.
Sounds like it's.
Okay. So the options are requirements allocation, completeness, requirements viewpoints and views, template architectures. Let's eliminate one.
This one, which is we need requirements allocation. We need completeness.
We need viewpoint and view.
Yeah, there is no
the first
template
three. There's no,
architecture.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is template
Yeah.
architecture?
What it could, because it sounds like a made up thing, because I don't think I've come across anything that says template architecture.
No, sounds weird.
Oh.
Oh, what? Really?
Apparently, I
No,
need to
there
read
is-
chapter 7 again. What?
Yeah, chapter
Okay,
7. So
sure.
the elements in define requirements architecture, requirements viewpoints and views, template architectures,
What is the
completeness.
template architecture?
What is template architectures?
74442.
I think, and I'm fuzzy on this right now, and I'm admitting, I think template architectures is the idea that, for instance, your PMO says you've got to use this template to organize your requirements. I think that's what it is. Oh, wait, Katya has it. An
Yeah.
architectural framework. I'm sorry, Katya, it disappeared. Let me open it back up. An architectural framework is a collection of viewpoints that is standard across an industry, sector, or organization. Business analysts can treat frameworks as predefined templates to start from it in defining their architecture. Similarly, the framework can be populated with domain-specific information to form a collection of views that is even more useful template to build architecture from, if it is accurate because the information is already populated in it. Thank you, Katya.
Welcome.
She lives to serve. I love it. Okay. Business analyst has completed the identification and definition of why a change to a system is required. The business analyst has also identified new capabilities that the current system cannot perform and are required by the enterprise to achieve the business need. Risk have been identified and assessed. What is the business analyst's next step? So, what tasks have they completed, guys?
Future state, change strategy.
Risk
Change strategy.
risk has been identified, assess risk have done.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
assess risk. Okay. And I've identified new capabilities that the current system cannot perform and are required. So that's define future state.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And identification of it and definition of why a change in system is required.
Analyze.
That's current state.
Yeah.
So current state, define future state, assess risk. What is the next step?
Change
Change.
Strategy.
Strategy.
I'm sorry, say that again.
B, change strategy.
Change strategy.
Strategy.
Yeah.
All right. The current state has been analyzed. The future state has been defined. The risks have been assessed. The next step is perform, define, change strategy. It is going to be this easy for y'all whenever you go take the test. I know it. Which input describes the value that may be realized by implementing the proposed future state? It can be used as a benchmark against which solution performance can be evaluated. So the value that may be realized.
Implementing.
Is this called relationship management, solution performance measures, potential value, or business objectives? I'll let you just tell me the right answer.
I think it's
Potential
potential
value.
value.
C, potential value.
Yep,
Yeah.
told you. You're gonna knock it out of the park. I love it. Financial resources, patents, reputation, and brand names are all examples of which of the following elements. Are these business architecture, macroeconomic factors, capabilities, or internal assets?
D, internal assets.
That's right. These are also called enterprise assets. So what the enterprise owns, that's valuable to them, but it's not money.
Yeah.
There we go. Chris, the CIO in the banking industry, implemented the business relationship manager BRM role to improve customers' loyalty scores. Best practice framework cited the BRM role as a surefire way to ensure customer satisfaction. Chris implemented the role by the book by sending 6 BRMs through a 4-week training course and requiring them to pass a rigorous exam to obtain BRM certification. The scores are in, and customer satisfaction scores are essentially the same as they were prior to the BRM role. What might be your initial take on this situation? The BRM role isn't delivering value, so the organization should write off the sunk cost and explore other customer satisfaction enhancement options. The solution is low performing, but could potentially be valuable. Not enough due diligence was given to the upfront analysis to determine if the BRM role was the right solution. The solution might be high-performing but contributes lower value than expected. I'll tell you up front, I hate this question because it's just not well written, but we're going to struggle through it, okay? Which one should we eliminate?
D.
Okay. And which one do you feel is the best answer?
Maybe C.
Yeah, I think C as well.
Okay. Let's test C.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Really?
But then how they
Wow.
jump into the
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense.
well,
Mm.
we don't know what they did up front. We know that it's best practices cited it, that they went to class, they had to take tests. So we know that there's qualifications there. The BRMs all gain certification, so presumably they are high performing, but all customer satisfaction scores have stayed essentially the same. An assumption may be made that the problem is that the software is not delivering value and it's not the BRM's efforts. There's so many things that can impact customers' satisfaction. It's not just a single role, you know.
Yeah. Can we check B, please? I was confused between B and D.
BRM certified, so we can assume that they are high performing.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay. Will we see a question like this on the actual test? Because
I don't think so.
because
It's
I'm
very
like,
hard.
It is very hard. The test, honestly, is easier than this. And that's one reason I use this, because this watermark gives you concepts, what you need, and then it's harder than the actual test. So whenever you get there for the test, it's like, I could have done this months ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Because I did CCBA and I found that very difficult.
But you are so much better than you were then.
Yeah, maybe.
I want to remind you, Amanda, of a text you sent me on the side. And I'm not going to tell anybody what it was, but whenever we first started, you sent me this text. Remember that?
Where are you? Wait a second.
Oh, no. It's when we first started the course.
I don't remember.
And now you were answering questions immediately and not having any challenges. And it's like, yeah, you are so much better.
I remember now. Yeah.
Okay, if Chris will not authorize Peyton, the business analyst who is tasked to assess BRM performance measures and recommend a course of action, to move ahead with her suggested assessment activities, how should she treat the lack of BRM performance measures? So a lack of performance measures, the BABOK says, should be treated in a certain way. Is it an enterprise problem, a solution risk, or an enterprise risk?
Oh God.
I think it's C. One second, if it will not business as an enterprise.
For to move ahead.
why C and not why solution and not an enterprise risk?
So what were the suggested assessment activities?
Exactly.
She had assessment activities to figure out what was the cause of the problem, and he's not letting her gather those do that assessment. So does she need to do an assessment on the solution or on the enterprise?
Yeah. Solutions like
the solution is the BRMs, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Or it's the software itself. But it sounds like the problem may be outside of that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think D.
Yeah.
External.
Let's test D. Oh, I was leading you wrong. I'm so sorry.
It's not external.
Okay, so it says the correct answer. If the measures are not sufficient to help stakeholders determine solution value, the business analyst must either collect more measurements or treat the lack of measures as a solution risk. Y'all pick solution, and I push you to enterprise. I'm giving
Well,
you solution.
Well, can I ask? Well, I guess in this question, the question I have is really towards Katya, since she's the one that said C. What was your reasoning? I just want to hear your reasoning for choosing C. Yeah.
Okay, because it's not, it's a okay, to my understanding, why I put it as a solution risk, okay, and not an enterprise.
Mm,
Yes.
Because when you are giving in the recommendations, you have to provide every risk that comes with any solution if you don't do it. Like you have to give the risk associated. If not, if you don't achieve, let's say, a solution value, if you do
mm,
not achieve it, you have to put the associated risk with it. That's how I see it. And
okay,
it's not an enterprise risk.
that makes sense. Okay, okay.
but
You
a
know
bit
what?
confused because
Yeah.
they say suggested assessment activity. It sounds to me it's like there's external action that we need to
Yeah.
assess. Yeah, instead of assess the BRM.
Yeah, because I would have gone with enterprise risk because of that particular line as well, which is why I wanted to hear her reasoning. But okay, it makes sense.
But you know what? You'll never make this mistake again. And all
I agree.
Katya did it to us.
But 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 in this scenario, okay, because the CIO who is implementing the BRM and the way he said best practice frameworks and to ensure customer satisfaction. So they did it. It's not like they did the role or the training for the employees. So they did everything from that side. So for you not to achieve the value, you have to assess the solution risk. That's how I saw it. I don't know.
Okay. I'm going to believe you.
I don't know. Don't believe me. Read that.
Well, you agree with the right answer, so you must be right. It's just how you got there.
Yeah, she
So
got there, yeah.
we're going to follow her anyway, even if we don't fully understand it ourselves. Which list describes a complete set of tasks in the requirements analysis and design definition knowledge area? So this is the entire knowledge area. Let's see, prioritize requirements is in that one. And it's not in any of the other ones. It's prioritize
We have a
requirements.
no, we don't.
Okay, you can eliminate that one.
Yeah,
Okay, they all have specified model. They all have verify,
validate.
validate, define design options, define requirements architecture, or define requirements architecture. Which one is it?
On requirements architecture.
Okay, we can eliminate those two. Define design options,
Yep.
assess
Yes.
risks.
Says
No.
I
the
don't think
ones
assess risks in
design.
this one.
It's not assess risk.
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
Mm.
I think
so
so.
Yeah,
let me go through this list. Specify
design.
model requirements, verify requirements, validate
Yeah.
requirements,
Mhm.
define requirements architecture, define design
Design
options,
options.
analyze potential value, and recommend solution. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a complete list of tasks. Incidentally, I can't tell you for sure, but I don't remember anywhere in the CBAP test that it was like, which task is that? They do say things like, which technique would be the best in this situation? You know, they do say, which stakeholders should you include in this process given the situation? So they give you the situation, you have to figure out which task you're in. And then you know from which task you're in, your inputs, your guidelines, your elements, your stakeholders, your techniques, your output. From that, you can answer the question. But that's one reason I use the watermark because I wanted you to get the concepts. You don't have to memorize all of the, at least I don't remember it being on there. It could be different. You know that they don't give us the same test. It's like a bank of 2,000 questions and you get 150 of those and it's randomized and it's not the same order as anybody else that has those same ones. Lucas is a BA who is assessing a seemingly underperforming solution. So what task is he doing, guys?
Assessing
Solution limitations.
Assess
Solution
solution limitations.
limitation.
yeah.
Right. What sorts of things can Lucas do to gain a thorough understanding of the potential value that was expected of the solution? Lucas can assess the solution within the context of the enterprise's goals and objectives and key performance indicators. Lucas can evaluate and understand the potential value of this solution by comparing key performance indicators of similar solutions. Lucas can understand the potential value of the solution by measuring its current performance. Lucas can assure performance measures are asking the right things in the right way with the right frequency. Which one of these will help him with potential value, guys? Remember what the definition of potential value is. And that will lead you to the answer.
Potential value is the cost and the value. Okay, Lucas can ensure performance is asking.
So what do we think of A?
I think it is A because we have goals and objectives and KPIs. Once
I would go with A.
Yeah, I would go with A. By
Okay.
comparing key performance
also-
or similar, no.
Value that was expected.
I measure it.
Understanding the potential value that was expected.
Yeah, you
That
need
sounds to me like A.
yeah, you need the
But-
goals and the objective for the potential value to assess it.
Yeah.
But you also need C. But maybe that comes after. C for Charlie.
C for Charlie, okay.
Isn't
Well, that's understanding the delta between
Okay.
the potential value and the current performance. But the question is asking about understanding the potential value.
That was expected, yes.
Mhm.
Future
So then
things,
that
is it?
points to
I thought it's
three.
future. Talking
Yeah,
about
they-
future.
Might
Okay,
sound a
we're
little
gonna start at
cliche,
the
but-
bottom.
Okay.
How many people think this is the best answer?
Which one?
It's very weird, but I don't know why my head is pointing to that. Like everything else seems very more like the answer, but then for whatever reason, my head is telling me D. I don't know why. It's probably
Okay.
wrong.
maybe
Don't assume that you're wrong until you've
Yeah.
proved you're wrong. Use real data, not assumed data. Okay, I've got one vote for D. Do I have any votes for C? B.
I go for A.
For me, it's A.
A.
A. Okay, got several votes for A. Let's test A. And then we're going to look at why D
Yeah.
is not wrong. Okay, this response is concerned with collecting performance
Okay.
measures versus
Performance
potential
measures.
data.
Okay.
Assess the solution within the context of enterprise's goals and objectives and key performance indicators. This answer adds the enterprise goal and objectives, which is more comprehensive answer. Understanding potential value doesn't end there, though. It is very, very important.
Hmm.
I did see potential value questions on my test.
Hmm.
Guys, it's been over a year since I took my test. I still can remember things. It was scarred in me, right? Okay. Business analysts analyze the enterprise to assess its capability to make change and to sustain the change in the future state. What is this element called? To assess the capability, I'm sorry, analyze the enterprise to assess its capability to make the change.
Capacity.
Capacity.
No, it's
Is that organizational or
No.
enterprise?
It's enterprise readiness assessment.
yes, it's
I think
D.
it's D.
Enterprise
D.
readiness
Yeah.
assessment.
Yeah.
B as in boy?
No.
No.
D
D
as
for
in
dog.
David.
For dog.
Dog.
D.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go with dog.
Yeah.
The readiness assessment considers the enterprise capability to make and sustain the change, but also realize value from the solution. The way that I made myself remember this is I thought of a runner on the starting line. Are they ready? Are they ready to do this thing, right? So it's readiness assessment. Are they ready? And I guess their name is enterprise. I don't know. But you know what enterprise means. Readiness assessment. That's how I got the name to stick in my head. Mary is a business analyst who has collaborated with stakeholders and successfully identified the primary root cause related to the business need. To fix the problem, she and her team have generated several alternative solutions, including the forecasted financial costs and benefits associated with each option. However, the decision maker is still not sold. What might be missing from Mary's presentation? So she's making a business case. She's done a comparison. Let me see. Several alternative solutions. So she's done a comparison, including the forecasted financial costs and benefits associated with each option. So she's missing something. Is she missing the net present value and internal rate of return? The costs and benefits associated with doing nothing? The root cause, so alternative solutions are lacking context? Or the business needs so that they know what problems they are trying to solve?
I think they've already identified the business need because that says so in the question.
Okay, so we can eliminate this one.
Yeah.
They have done
think
the
it's-
financial cost. A can eliminate itself.
Yeah, A.
Yeah,
Eliminate.
eliminate
Yeah.
that.
Eliminate A?
Eliminate
Yes.
A. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Because the financial cost is done.
Forecasted
Okay.
financial costs.
Yeah.
I think it's B, the cost.
B,
I think it's
associated with doing nothing. I agree
B.
too.
doing nothing.
Yeah, B,
Because
boy.
they need to know
Yeah.
what if we just
Status
let it.
quo is always
Yeah.
considered as an option and presented along with other solution alternatives. The costs associated with doing nothing might spur action.
Yes.
I am involved in teaching a group of BAs how to do business analysis, and so I gave them a business case to start with. And one of the things in the business case is if we do nothing, you won't be able to use this playground in 5 years. And it's like all the doing nothings, projecting out what it would cost for maintenance and liability and lawsuits. And yes, Amanda.
I have the exact opposite problem at the moment where in my workplace, the management set out to do something in Salesforce without actually doing an analysis on, the actual problem they want to solve or the current state. And they blocked out the whole quarter. We're going to do this thing in Salesforce. Now I've done the discovery and found that it's this massive financial commercial accounting spreadsheet. It doesn't actually live in Salesforce. It's not completely not fit for purpose. So the cost of the benefit of doing nothing. The cost of even doing some of it is actually too great. So that's the problem I need to convince them now, is that the cost of doing nothing is actually better. It's actually too risky to go ahead with it. And yeah,
Wow.
They're not happy with that.
No, but they were glad with the money that you're going to save them for doing something that's going to be useless.
It's going to completely break the system, but it's about ego, unfortunately, in my organization. So yes,
It typically is.
It is. So that's an interesting flip side of that question.
It is. I agree with you. Which of the following subset best describes the characteristics, the requirements, and design quality? Didn't we have this one already?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's a
Yeah.
gimme, I guess. Let's see. Testable, verified, unambiguous, concise, prioritized. It doesn't have atomic in there.
Yeah.
We need atomic, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we need
Yeah.
atomic.
So that means we can eliminate those two. Atomic, testable, consistent, feasible, or defined.
Feasible.
Okay. So atomic, testable, consistent, feasible, complete, understandable. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right. And one more question. Peggy is applying her findings in a gap analysis to the solution scope and change strategy. What should she keep in mind during this exercise? Findings of the gap analysis to the solution scope and change strategy. What task is she in, guys?
I think the last
Chapter 6.
What is
Please.
Yeah.
Is this define change strategy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The gap analysis findings may have to be allocated to various releases defined in the pre-project scope. the most timely way to acquire new capabilities so the business can realize value as quickly as possible. The findings must be applied to both the transition and future states. That the same techniques should be used to describe the current and future states to simplify the comparison. Which one is the best answer according to the BABOK?
D.
D, donkey.
Okay.
Dog.
I don't really understand what the question's asking. Yes, C. C was.
This is true, but gap analysis is already completed. If you hadn't done gap analysis already, you could do that for current and future state. So the findings must be applied to both the transition and future states. Gap analysis identifies the difference between current state and future state capabilities and the need to be addressed in the transition and future states.
When you say findings of the gap analysis, I'm struggling to conceptualize that. What do you mean by the gap analysis to the solution scope?
So the gap analysis, so the gap between current state and future state. Let's say you have all of your equipment in a small warehouse, that's your current state, and you need to move to a larger warehouse, that's your future state. The gap analysis says we have to get all of our stuff into some kind of transport system and move it from here to there. We have to transfer the phone systems over. We have to, those are the gaps. And so that's your gap.
Okay.
And
Transition.
you do an analysis of will this fix from current state and get us to future state?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you for asking. So let's view exam results. For solution evaluation, chapter 8, we're at 85.7, 86%. The other two, we're at 78%. Guys, we're rocking it. Y'all are doing just fine. Let's go ahead and add the next chapter back in.
Yeah.
How do you feel about adding 2 chapters back in?
Yeah, can.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do 5, 6, 7, 8.
Sure.
2 chapters, you said 4, 5, 6, 7.
4, 5. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. Sorry. I was not mathing, apparently. Okay, we're going to do 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we're going to be doing 5 chapters. When we come back next Thursday, we're going to get y'all ready to take your test. After we do all 6 chapters together and we're getting good scores here, we're going to start tackling some of the really big questions. You know, those that it's like multiple paragraphs, and then we have like 5 questions on those multiple paragraphs, because the strategy in doing those is a little bit different than what we've been doing so far. Okay?
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, sorry. I have a question. Like in the CBAP, they I read like a comment review, like they do ask a lot of questions where you have diagrams, so when we do these simulation tests, it will include this kind like real CBAP questions, correct?
It will. We've got plenty of time. I'm going to show you this. So we're going to select exam, and we're going to go down here to CBAP test simulation. Incidentally, if y'all aren't aware, Watermark Learning has given you, as participants of the study group, 40% off if you want to ever do this, if you want to get this for yourself. So just ask me now or tell me later that you want the code, and I'll walk you through how to get it. So I'm going to do the begin new exam, and I'm going to skip a few until I get to one. This is where they are. It's just, they're not all at the beginning like they are on your real test. Here we are.
Wow.
So overview, you got background, you got information about customers, you got orders, preparing and cooking, all the things, okay? And then you get 4 questions on all of this information. I call it essay questions, but you don't write essays. You're just reading an essay to get there. My strategy for these, you can read the entire thing and then read your question. My strategy is to do it backwards though. Read your question and the answers, and then read the entire thing. And whenever you get to the area that's talking about this, you can kind of focus in on it and get it done. But then you got 3 more questions that follow, and you know, it's like, oh yeah, I remember that, or I haven't gotten to that part yet.
This
Yes,
is a
Kathy.
real sample of how the CBAP exam is with
Yes,
the
it is a real,
structure. Like,
yes. We've done some that it has a display of this is a context diagram or this is a class diagram, and it
yeah,
asks you, you know, what's missing from this or
yeah,
whatever. You're going to see those in the real test. You're going to see some that they give you 3 contracts that you got to do a comparison to, and I created those technique documents for y'all to be able to do that. That's
yeah,
the logic and math problems, so you can see how I did it. At least it works well. And then the techniques group 6 is the one that has all the diagrams, you know, how to identify cardinality and crow's foot notation and how to read it. You will have questions about those in the test. I would say I had 6 in the test about things like that. You're also going to have some math questions where it talks about things like how to calculate return on investment and things like that. I swear the right answer is not on the screen. You can pass the test even if you don't get the right answer for one of those, or I think there were 3 of them on my, and I wanted to go tell somebody, you know, there's nobody to tell. You just do the best you can. You pick the closest answer and you keep going. You'll pass the test if you just keep going. At least I passed it the second time, so you know what I mean. Okay, any other questions?
yeah. Can I ask another question, please? What's
You
the
got to pay me $5. Okay, what is it?
what's the difference between, I know we are following with the watermark, and you have adaptive also, the same concept. So I was doing comparison between adaptive and watermark. What's
Mhm.
the, can you tell a bit, did you work on adaptive? Is it more like CBAP than watermark or what?
I think that adaptive is too easy to prepare you.
Okay, it's good to know.
I mean,
Okay.
that's my perspective. It doesn't mean that, you know, and they make changes all the time, just like everybody else does. But I just felt like it was too easy. I wanted you to really be prepared to be
Okay.
able to pass the test whenever you sit down.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay? You're welcome. You're welcome. I want to take 2 minutes to talk about something that has become very apparent to me in the last 6 months. I want y'all to be very aware of managing your perception. And what I mean is, whenever you're on screen, realize you're being evaluated for advancement. Whenever you show up in a meeting, realize you're being evaluated for advancement. Okay? You're not just showing up in a meeting. People are saying, you know, are they paying attention? Are they involved? Are they engaged? Are they contributing? You know, do they put out their notes quickly after the meeting? Do they respond quickly to the IMs? One thing I want, Jesse, I got to tell you, you got to do this, darling. Get your face in the middle of your screen. Right
Oh,
now,
okay.
you are ahead like this. But
Okay.
but think about it psychologically. You know, if you're at the very bottom of your screen, psychologically, people evaluate you as being lower, you know, less than. I don't know why. It's true though. Get yourself
Okay.
in the middle of your screen. I'm
Okay.
sorry, I'm not trying to embarrass you. I want you to have much opportunity for advancement and respect and authority as you can. I'm going to tell you a few other things about getting authority that is absolutely ridiculous. It's I call it stupid easy. Whenever someone puts out a message on Teams that says, I'm going to be late for a meeting, you be the first one to give them a thumbs up. I mean, as soon as people do something, you respond because it does this thing in their mind that they say, that person is on top of it. For some reason, they think you're smarter or something, you know, at least you're paying attention, you know, you're not ignoring them. It gives them validation. I don't know what it does. You be the first one. You give them a thumbs up. You say you were seen. It's important. And then whenever you take notes for a meeting, you take notes in a format that you can send out as soon as possible after the meeting. And you just get them to know you're paying attention, you're on top of it, you know, you're sending it out, you're good. You join the meeting 3 minutes early, not 2 minutes early, 3 minutes early. And then when people join, greet them. I don't care if it's your meeting or not. Okay, so let's say your coworker has a weekly meeting and you all jump in. Just join 3 minutes early. That way everybody sees your name is the one that starts the meeting. Okay. You know, Jesse started the meeting and they're like, well, Jesse's on top of it. I better get there. And then you greet everybody and you're just being friendly. You know, it's like, oh, John, I love that shirt, you know, or, you know, whatever. And they will kind of go, she's like running stuff. I mean, you're not running the meeting, but they get this idea. You have authority. You're speaking up. You're approachable. You create a relationship with them. You build your relationship with them. Okay. All right.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. I want y'all to all
Yes.
succeed. I really, really do. So always think about what they're seeing whenever they see you through the camera. They're often looking for, who am I going to give this next responsibility to? You make yourself the person that that they trust, that they want to put in that position, okay? All right, ladies. I don't have to say and gentlemen this time. All right,
Thank
ladies.
you.
We'll
Thank
Bye.
you
meet
so
again next week. We're
much.
doing
Bye.
5 chapters, and then we
Okay.
will keep going. All right. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Happy
Bye.
holidays to the Americans
Thank
and the
you.
American
Thank you.
side.
Happy holidays. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.